What if I told you that the most important thing in your life isn't real? Not your house, not your job, not even the money you work for every day. What if I told you the paycheck that feeds you, the savings meant to protect you, and the numbers in your bank account are built on nothing more than trust? And that trust can vanish overnight? This sounds like a conspiracy. It isn't. It's history. And the moment everything changed already happened. Quietly, legally, and while most of the world wasn't paying attention. The night money stopped being real didn't come with riots or sirens. It came with a calm voice on television. In August of 1971, the President of the United States addressed the nation and announced a temporary emergency measure. The dollar, he said, would no longer be convertible into gold. Temporary emergency. Those words mattered because they were never reversed. With that single decision, money was cut loose from reality. The dollar stopped being a claim on something tangible and became a claim on belief alone. And because the dollar sat at the center of the global system, the entire world followed. To understand why this mattered, you have to understand what money used to be. For thousands of years, money was restrained by something real. Shells, salt, silver, gold. Even paper currencies were promises backed by metal locked in vaults. Money could be abused, but it could not be created endlessly. After World War II, the world tried to preserve that discipline. Under the Bretton Woods system, currencies were tied to the US dollar, and the dollar was tied to gold. $35 bought 1 ounce. The system worked because it imposed limits, but limits are inconvenient. By the 1960s, the United States was fighting expensive wars and funding massive social programs. Dollars flowed across the globe faster than gold could follow. Foreign governments began to ask an uncomfortable question. Can we have the gold you promised? The answer was no, so the promise was quietly broken. What's remarkable isn't the T that this happened. It is how little reaction there was. Grocery stores stayed open. Paychecks cleared. Life went on. The illusion held. But under the surface, something profound had changed. For the first time in modern history, the world entered an era where money had no natural limit. It could be created at will, constrained only by confidence. And history is very clear about what happens next. This wasn't the first time rulers discovered the power of unreal money. Ancient Rome learned the lesson first. Their silver coins were slowly diluted to fund armies in excess. At first, no one noticed. Then prices rose. Then trust vanished. Trade broke down. An empire that ruled the world couldn't trust its own money. Centuries later, China tried paper money. It was revolutionary until printing became easier than taxation. The presses ran hot, confidence collapsed, and the system imploded. Different civilizations, same mistake. Whenever money is detached from reality, those in power gain flexibility, and everyone else absorbs the risk. That's what made 1971 different. Rome fell alone. China collapsed in isolation. But the dollar wasn't just another currency. It was the backbone of global finance. When it broke, the entire world stepped into the same experiment. At first, it seemed like a miracle. Without gold, governments could spend freely. Central banks could cut interest rates to rescue economies. Debt no longer had hard limits. Growth was smoothed. Crises were delayed. People were told this was progress. But the system wasn't designed for stability. It was designed for momentum. Debt had to grow. Money had to expand. Confidence had to be maintained. Like a shark, it had to keep moving, or die. Since that moment, debt has exploded beyond anything imaginable before. Numbers became so large they stopped feeling real. Trillions. Tens of trillions. Entire economies balanced on spreadsheets and confidence. Every crisis followed the same script. The dot-com bubble, the housing collapse, the global financial crisis, the pandemic response. Each time the solution was identical. More money, more credit, more intervention. This wasn't healing the system. It was accelerating it. You can see the cost everywhere. An ounce of gold that once cost $35 now costs thousands. Homes that once required a single income now demand 2 or more. Savings erode silently. Wages chase prices and never quite catch them. People are told this is normal. It isn't. It's the price of a system built on trust instead of restraint. And trust holds until it doesn't. History doesn't hide this truth. It screams it. Weimar Germany printed money to escape debt and destruction. At first, it worked. Then prices doubled. Then doubled again. Money became worthless faster than it could be spent. Argentina repeated the cycle again and again. Overspend, inflate, collapse, reset. Ordinary people learned to distrust their own currency. The pattern is never new. So here's the uncomfortable question. If this has happened everywhere else, why do we believe it can't happen globally? The modern system depends on one fragile thing: confidence. And once confidence breaks, there's no reset button. That's why the future of money is moving toward control. Digital currencies promise efficiency and convenience, but they also promise oversight, restriction, and programmability. Money that can be tracked, limited, switched off. If money is already an illusion, imagine when that illusion can be managed in real time. Some see Bitcoin as an escape, a return to fixed supply and mathematical limits. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. What matters more than any single asset is understanding the game itself. Because this story isn't really about gold or paper or digital currency. It's about power. When money is real, power is restrained. When money is abstract, power expands. The day money stopped being real was the day risk quietly shifted from institutions to individuals. And most people never noticed. So what do you do with this knowledge? You stop pretending. You stop believing comforting stories. You study history instead of slogans. Because wealth isn't just money, it's awareness, it's adaptability, it's understanding the system before it changes again. History doesn't punish ignorance immediately, it waits. And when trust finally breaks, it's too late to learn. If you want to understand how power really works before the next illusion collapses, subscribe now. Most people won't see this coming. You don't have to be one of them.